Hello, and here is the news on NTA International. I am Comfort Fashion, and my sign language interpreter is John Bamidele. First, the headlines. World leaders decry collective action to reduce number of hungry people. The Senate confirms Professor Joash Amupiton as chairman of Independent National Electoral Commission. African Union suspends Madagascar's membership from the bloc. World leaders, including Pope Leo, challenge governments at all levels to do everything possible to reduce the number of hungry people around the world. This is coming as the UN organization marks 80 years of its establishment. Musa Baba Aliyu tells us more.
This is a gathering of world leaders commemorating the 2025 World Food Day. The day also coincides with the 80th anniversary of the establishment of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. Hosted by the Director General of the FAO, Ko Dong-yo, the celebration brought together prominent global figures, including Pope Leo. Nigeria was represented by the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari.
On this World Food Day, especially 80th anniversary of FAO birthday, it's a great honor. Remind us that the fight against hunger is not only about food. It is about the dignity and our shared humanity.
Pope Leo told the gathering that allowing millions of people to live and die in hunger is a collective failure and ethical aberration. He said, even though humanity made huge advances in technology, medicine and agriculture, more than 600 million people go to bed hungry.
Only by joining our hands will we build a future of dignity in which food security is felt as a right and not as a privilege.
Other leaders, including Ban Ki-moon and Guterres, lamented the weaponization and politicization of hunger.
Every community has a right to a healthy meal and hope of a better future. Together with the courage and unity, we can transform the vision of zero hunger.
The FAO Museum and Network were inaugurated in Rome as part of activities marking the anniversary. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The federal government of Nigeria has assured citizens that it will create an enabling environment for massive food production to eradicate hunger and malnutrition in the country. The Ministers of Agriculture and Food Security, alongside the Minister of Livestock Development, gave this assurance as they joined farmers in commemorating the 2025 World Food Day. Again, Musa Baba Aliyu completes the story.
World Food Day is an international observance held on 16 October every year to promote food security and raise awareness about poverty and hunger. This awareness campaign inspired work in the federal capital. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Ali Sabi Abdullahi, and the Minister of Livestock Development, Muktari Idi Meha, alongside development partners including the FAO, participated in the event. The theme for this year's commemoration is Hand in Hand for Better Food and a Better Future.
Hand in Hand is a collective idea, is a collaborative idea, and we are going to bring what we think is global thinking but local action. And the action we bring today will help us to deliver on this better food and a better future.
As we celebrate World Food Today, let us remember the vital role that livestock play in our journey towards a food-secure world. Let us work hand in hand, governments, the private sector, development partners, and the communities to invest in and support the livestock.
A recent survey indicates that Nigeria is becoming more food secure, with production increasing and food inflation decreasing nationwide. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, says robust partnerships built on shared values can promote stronger health system, expand access to education and offer hope to families across Nigeria. She was speaking at the 12th edition of the Merck Foundation First Ladies Initiative Committee meeting held in Banjul, Gambia. A State House correspondent, Adeni Taiwo, reports.
Again, Merck Foundation brought together African First Ladies, their convergence in Banjul, Gambia, to explore their shared vision for a healthier, better educated and more empowered continent.
My commitment is driven through the Renewed Hope Initiative.
Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has taken major strides in this regard through our pet project, Renewed Hope Initiative, and at the meeting, she highlighted interventions in the health sector, including the donation of $2 million to support advocacy and treatment for cervical cancer and tuberculosis as part of its commitment to eliminating both diseases by 2030. She recalled similar impact in the education sector with the provision of annual scholarships to 47 indigent students in universities for 3 consecutive years. According to the First Lady, these collaborations and partnerships have continued to yield success stories across the nook and crannies of Nigeria.
We are glad to inform this gathering that we were awarded 71 scholarships, and we appreciate Merck Foundation for the education intervention, which aligns perfectly with our RHI goals of promoting access to education for all, especially the girl child. And for medical scholarship with Merck, a total of 82 scholarships have been awarded to Nigerian doctors in critical and underserved medical specialties, an increase of 19 scholarships since our last committee meeting. I'm looking forward to how we can expand our collaboration. The more I understand the great work you have been doing, and the more I begin to appreciate our collaboration.
Our ambition is to reach more people, transform more lives, and build more connections across sectors, nations, and generations.
So on children and young people to raise awareness about cancer, which is very, very, very critical and important, especially for children, because it's curable. Children cancer is curable, so it is preventable, curable, so we need to have awareness about it.
The meeting saw First Ladies from African countries making presentations on key interventions bordering on women and children's health and education. Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
The African Union, AU, has suspended Madagascar's membership of the bloc with immediate effect following a coup in that country. The AU's announcement means a suspension of the nations from its activities, mirroring actions taken after military coups in countries like Mali, Burkina Faso and Guinea. The AU's decision came after an elite army unit seized power, confirming Colonel Michael Randrianirina as president, plunging the Indian Ocean nation into crisis. The coup, orchestrated by the same military unit that previously aided Andre Rajoelina's rise to power, ousted Rajoelina following weeks of protests led by young people. Rajoelina, who had previously been impeached, was pushed out by the military. Randrianirina is scheduled to be sworn in as president on October 17th. Crowds gathered in Nairobi to follow a military motorcade escorting the body of Kenyan opposition leader Raila Odinga from Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. Odinga's body was repatriated from India, where he died of suspected heart attack. Frama Pani reports.
Huge crowds took to the streets across Kenya as the body of veteran opposition leader Raila Odinga was flown home from India, prompting authorities to revise memorial arrangements. Thousands of mourners converged on Jomo Kenyatta International Airport to receive the coffin, forcing the civil aviation authorities to temporarily halt operations to restore order and ensure safety. The body was first taken to Parliament, but after supporters overwhelmed security and climbed the gates, officials moved the coffin to Nairobi's Kasarani Stadium. Odinga, 80, died of a suspected heart attack on Wednesday while visiting a health clinic in southern India. President William Ruto has declared 7 days of national mourning in honor of Odinga, a 5-time presidential candidate and long-term political icon who shaped Kenya's democracy and inspired millions. Authorities have announced the creation of public grieving spaces across Nairobi ahead of a state funeral service scheduled for Friday. State television also showed massive gatherings in Bondo Odinga's ancestral home in western Kenya. The crowds formed a sea of green, waving tree branches in a traditional sign of respect for the fallen leader. Frama Panyi, NTA News.
Indian government has pledged its commitment to work collaboratively with the Nigerian government in realizing the renewed hope agenda of the federal government. Indian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Ambassador Abhishek Singh, made the commitments during his visit to Government Girls Secondary School Duty, Buhari Area Council of the FCT. Chukunonson Wabwezi reports.
The visit, which is Ambassador Abhishek Singh's first official engagement on assumption of his new role on October 9, 2025, is in commemoration of this year's International Girl Child Day, as well as to further strengthen the strong people-to-people relationship with Nigeria. The High Commissioner, while encouraging the students to pursue their dreams with courage and determination, reaffirmed India's commitment to promoting gender equality and women empowerment, emphasizing the need to invest in their health, education, and overall well-being.
Nigeria is a very significant, a very important country because, you represent the largest country in Africa, the 6th largest country in the world, and I'm sure what you think, the girl child thinks, is going to, shape the future of this country, and you are going to shape the future of the world.
Director FCT Secondary Education Board, Mohammed Ladan, while lauding the unique qualities of the girl child, commended the Indian High Commission in Nigeria for their support in the promotion of education within the Federal Capital Territory.
We look forward for more opportunities to partner with you. And together, let us build a future where girl child is free to learn, lead, and live with dignity.
Presentation of gift items for the girls' upkeep, as well as a tour of the school's ICT center and the students' farm, climaxed the epoch-making visitation of the High Commissioner. Chukunonson Wabweze, NTN News.
Experts in the cancer space from 25 African countries converge on Abuja to learn how to use research and data to build a future where every cancer diagnosis is tracked and every patient counts. Uche Ugochukwu reports that this is under the initiative of the Network for Oncology Research in Sub-Saharan Africa, NORA.
Cancer is a growing concern in Africa, which recorded over 127,000 new cases in 2022 data alone, with inadequate research and other factors affecting efforts to curb the disease. These experts from over 25 countries are converging under NORA to share knowledge, enhance skills and develop research capabilities with emphasis on primary, secondary and tertiary institutions, ensuring a comprehensive approach that would reduce cancer mortality rates.
Cancer has become a significant public health challenge, riding on all of the compromise that has happened in patients as a result of infections.
As we strengthen our National Cancer Registry Network, the Ministry remains committed supporting policies and innovation that make cancer control not only specific scientific priority, but also a moral imperative.
The impact, they say, will be felt across the continent as participants will take back knowledge and best practices to their countries.
The registry data is important at the country level, so the country, each of our country and our cancer control programs know about the profile of cancer, what are the important cancers, who is getting cancer, and how is cancer epidemic evolving.
We really do need to understand that cancer registries are the eyes and ears of of cancer control in countries.
I'm glad to announce that NICRAD has concluded plan to link cancer registry data with hospital records, mortality database, and screening programs. This is to ensure accuracy and effectiveness.
With cancer cases projected to rise in Africa, experts say investing in research and capacity building will mitigate the impact of cancer. Uche Ugochukwu, NTA News.
All right, let's take a pause for commercials. The Senate has confirmed the appointment of Professor Joash Amupiton as the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission. Amupiton, a professor of law and senior advocate of Nigeria, is the sixth to occupy the position since the return of democracy in 1999. During the screening, he acknowledged the shortcomings noted by lawmakers in Nigeria's electoral system and expressed readiness to inject the needed reforms for integrity and improved transparency and accountability in the entire process.
In the first place, I'm taking this position on trust, and the people who I'm going to work with, they must also appreciate the fact that they are there on trust, and because you have made the law, that should be done.
50 years of its contributions to nation building through dispute and conflict resolution and just regulations, as well as enhancing administrative fairness. The Public Complaints Commission says so far more than 1.8 million cases was received and about 1.3 million have so far been successfully resolved within the period under review. The Chief Commissioner, Public Complaints Commission, Bashir Abubakar, stated this during the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Commission. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu completes the report.
Public Complaint Commission is empowered to investigate complaints against the federal, state and local government areas, as well as statutory corporations and companies registered under the Companies and Allied Matters Act. The Commission is also saddled with the responsibility of cost-free, neutral and adaptable approach to resolving grievances arising from administrative injustice to protecting human rights in Nigeria. 50 years down the line, what are the challenges and way forward? The Chief Commissioner, Bashir Abubakar, has this to say.
Despite our achievements, the Commission faces significant challenges, particularly inadequate funding. Limited budgetary allocations have constrained our logistics, capacity building, and operational efficiency. While we have forged partnership to enhance our enforcement capabilities, greater support from the government and policymakers is essential to fully realize our mandate.
He assured Nigerians that in the next 50 years, the Commission will restructure its operations to align with global best practices, leveraging on technology for efficient case management to ensure swift justice and partnerships with technological organizations to streamline resolution of complaints and embodying the principle that justice delayed is justice denied. The Public Complaint Commission calls on the general public to always challenge administrative injustices without resorting to costly legal battles or taking the laws into their hands, as it provides a platform to address grievances at no cost. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
Now, to speak more on the milestone of the Public Complaints Commission in the past 50 years is the Chief Commissioner, Bashir Abubakar. You're welcome to NTA International Studio.
Thank you so much.
Now, 50 years of anniversary for the Commission is a celebration of resilience and trust of Nigerians, according to the background reports. Can you briefly tell us about this?
Well, thank you so much. This is an opportunity for the Public Complaints Commission to further showcase its presence in the scope of the Nigerian landscape. This is an organization that has been established to ensure safety of all and sundry, both Nigerians living in Nigeria as well as Nigerians across the border and even non-Nigerians alike. Wherever you feel you are unjustifiably treated, you have certain issues with any authority, either private organization, government agencies, you are expected to lay up your complaint in accordance with our act. And we're very sure we will treat your matter in accordance with the laid down regulation. We are hoping that this is a kind of chance that all Nigerians will know more about the Public Complaints Commission. It has existed for over 50 years, as you are aware, and currently we have over 4,000 staff, as well as we are virtually present in all the states of the Federation.
All right, sir, what is your place in prosecuting offenders after arrests? Is there any challenge, maybe security logistics?
Well, certainly we, as you are aware, we are panacea to issues of that extent. We try as much as possible not to go into that. However, where it is absolutely necessary for us to engage into such action, we go ahead to do it. Mark you, we are in full collaboration with the judiciary, we are in full collaboration with the police and all relevant security agencies to ensure compliance with our respective laws and regulations.
So findings show one of the major challenges of the Commission was funding. What is the situation now? Certainly.
Under the current government dispensation, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, has approved through the provision of additional funding by our amiable National Assembly. And the National Assembly has thought it very wise to come into our aid. And under the 2025 budget, we are there for you, and certainly things will be done in accordance with what we expect.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bashir Abubakar. He's the Chief Commissioner for Public Complaints Commission.
Thank you so much for having me.
Moving on, the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, says no inmate approved for the clemency under the recent exercise of the President's power of prerogative of mercy has been released from custody. This process remains at the final administrative stage, which includes a standard review to ensure that all names and recommendations fully comply with established legal and procedural requirements before any instrument of release is issued. In a statement in Abuja, Fagbemi, SAN, says the last stage of the exercise, after approval by the Council of State, is the issuance of the instruments for the implementation of the decision concerning each beneficiary. The stage affords an opportunity for a final look at the lists for remedial purposes, if any, before the instrument is forwarded to the Controller General of Corrections for necessary action. This verification process is part of the standard protocol and reflects the government's commitment to transparency and due diligence. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, is expected to open his defense in the 8-count charge bordering on alleged terrorism on October 23, 2025. This followed the submission of the Nigerian Medical Association's panel appointed by the courts, which declared Nnamdi Kanu medically fit and proper to face his trial. Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary Desk reports.
The Federal High Court ordered panel of the Nigerian Medical Association has declared that the health condition of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, is not life-threatening. The presiding judge, Justice James Omotosho, ordered the medical assessment amid conflicting reports from doctors representing the prosecution and the defense. The panel's findings submitted to the court on October 13, 2025 by the prosecution team led by Aligboyega Awomolo SAN and partly read during Thursday proceedings confirmed that Kanu is medically fit to stand trial. With no objections from the prosecution and defense counsel, Justice Omotosho ruled that the trial would continue. The trial judge also granted Nnamdi Kanu 6 consecutive days starting from October 23, 2025 to present and conclude his defense. The court equally granted the request by Kanu's lead counsel, Kanu Agabi, SAN, to allow private consultations between the defendant and his legal team outside the premises of the Department of State Services, citing fears that conversations could be recorded and monitored. The judge directed that the private consultations take place in the courtroom on October 22, 2025 from 9 a.m. to 12 noon with only Kanu and his counsel present. The trial will resume on October 23, 2025. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
So that is how much you can take on the news, and thank you for being a part of it. I am Comfort Fashion, and my sign language interpreter is John Bamidele.